So far, Battlefield 1 is pretty awesome, but even the most hardcore players have their complaints. We took to the internet and we listened to you guys and we came up with this list. Think of this less like complaining and more like constructive criticism. We're bringing you 10 things Battlefield 1 players hate. Starting off at number 10, one thing that bothers players is hopping into a tank that is about to die. Nothing is worse than wasting your nice fresh spawn on a tank that's on its last legs. While yeah, planes and tanks and stuff like that can be repaired and saved from death, it's still something that's annoying, especially when it seems like the solution is really easy. I've seen a lot of people on forums suggesting that DICE show vehicle health from the deployment screen, and I think that's a really good idea. It's just nice to know what you're getting into, whether you want to waste that spawn or not, if it's worth it to really spawn in that vehicle. Because honestly, a lot of the time, it's not worth it. So to be prepared with more information and not make it such a gamble would be nice. And at number 9, something that it seems like a lot of players hate on forums, but it's something that you can't quite fix, is the option to skip waiting for a revive. I think it's too far along now and past the point of return to fix this and make it like the older Battlefield games, but I know I'm not the only one here. The amount of times maybe you run across a battlefield, across enemy fire, busting your ass just to get to the other side to save a guy who is needing health, and then as you risk everything and get to him to do your job as a medic, he disappears, and then you're shit out of luck and you're not reviving anyone. Basically what happens is that somebody dies, they're at the kill screen, and then they're given the option to wait around for a medic to come revive them, or they can press a button to skip the revive system and just go right back to deployment. Clicking that makes your body disappear in the game, and it leads to a lot of medics running over to save basically no one. And it seems like it's been annoying a lot of people. And at number 8, we have the medal system, which is a good idea in theory, but ultimately it seems a little more broken than we would have liked. Basically, Battlefield assignments from previous games worked much better. Why can we only select and work on one medal at a time? Basically, you can be doing things that meet certain criteria within the medals, but if you don't have that medal selected, you're shit out of luck. It's really annoying to bounce back and select a new medal. It's just really unintuitive, and some people are having trouble selecting new medals at all. Sometimes it's just stuck for them. The fact that you could be knocking out a lot of these objectives in one match, but you really can't because you have to do it all in order, just makes them feel even more broken. Not to mention the fact that you have to complete each stage of the medal you're tracking in succession. To do it in order just makes it not that fun. And it's not even really worth it if you think about it, because medals don't really earn you much at all. They refresh every week, but by the time you're grinding through one, do you even want to do it again? And at number 7, we have the Battle Pack system, something that has been contentious for Battlefield players for a while. They feel like a step down from Battlefield 4's Battle Packs because you could get much more stuff and attachment unlocks and stuff like that, but really all you're getting here is a bunch of junky weapon skins. You can occasionally get the puzzle pieces for a legendary club or a knife or a melee weapon, and they said you can get XP boost, but I've never actually seen or gotten one. The way it exists right now, and it's so bare bones, I wouldn't be surprised if they make it later on that you can buy things with real money, because right now you can't, but I'm pretty sure I can see EA implementing a paid system in the future. I've seen a lot of people complaining about bugs where they actually redeem battle packs and don't get anything for it, but mostly I think the problem is that battle pack drops are so infrequent to the point where it's almost just a non-issue. But I think the other problem is that people don't realize that it's completely random. But regardless, I think that since they aren't as fleshed out as they have been in the past, I think maybe it makes it less of a distraction and people can just focus on actually playing the game. And really, I don't know about you, but I think that's a good thing. And at number 6, let's talk about incompetent squad leaders. Nothing grinds my gears more in a Battlefield game. People who are marked as squad leaders but don't know how to actually play that role ultimately kind of hurt an entire squad that is serious about playing the game. If they're just sitting around and they don't know how to mark objectives and really use the game to their advantage, everybody really misses out, and that's unfortunate. Inactive squad leaders definitely make for a less effective team. I think DICE should implement some sort of automatic rotation system where if it picks up that squad leaders aren't actively giving orders, they lose that designation next time around, because if not, otherwise the people who aren't using the squad leader ability to their advantage are basically keeping other players from rightfully earning very useful points. And at number 5, something that Battlefield players definitely hate. Look, man, don't leave tanks behind. Nothing is worse than being spawned in a tank or being in the heat of battle in a tank and then being completely left and hung out to dry. You could burst into the front lines with a full tank with a bunch of players, and then all of a sudden they all hop out and run away, and then basically you're left in the driver's seat with not much to defend yourself and basically your ass out for everyone to see. For the players that do bail on tanks in their time of need, try not to do that. It's definitely the bane of many a Battlefield player's existence. And I guarantee you, if you stick around in the tank, you'll have much more fun when the action heats up. Who wouldn't want to be behind a tank? I mean, come on. And at number 4 on the list, looking through Battlefield forums and talking to some players, it seems like something that Battlefield players really are just tired of is the comparison to Call of Duty. It seems like what some people fail to realize is that Battlefield and Call of Duty are completely different games. Other than the fact that in both of them you can die instantaneously and often, they look and feel and play out completely differently. So to compare them is really just to kind of discount both of them, you know? Each of these games have their own different tropes and skills that you have to learn, and liking one over the other doesn't make you a better player at all. I think at least with video games we should all be friends, and recognizing the differences between these games is important, but that's just because I try and be as neutral as possible. I think everybody needs to just play the game that they like and not worry about anyone else. And at number 3, we spent a lot of time trying to find the most hated map in Battlefield 1, and it seems to be Suez. Basically, the problem with Suez is that there is never a close game. No matter what, it's always a complete washout. There's not really a lot of nuance to the map and never really an in-between with the scoring. It's always clearly one-sided, and that kind of sucks. That's definitely an example of not a very good map. I know not everyone's going to agree with that. Everybody has their favorite map and their least favorite map, but just judging from what people are saying online, a lot of people don't like Suez, and a lot of times they don't even bother. Sometimes they just quit out and change servers. And at number 2, something that Battlefield 1 players hate. We talked about players not really doing their job before. Let's talk about medics. If you're playing as a medic and you're not healing, what are you doing? You see this in a lot of other games where playing the role is critical to success in a game, but goddamn, nothing is worse than dying right in front of a medic and sitting there and waiting there and seeing him stand there and not do a thing to help you. Yo, if you're gonna play as a medic and you don't lift a finger, maybe you should pick a different class. That's just me, I'm just saying. You don't really get that many other advantages, so maybe you should rethink your class. Medics in Battlefield 1 are contentious. Some people think that it's a dead class, but other people just really find a redeeming value in it. I personally like playing as a medic, but hey, that's up for you to decide. Either way, if you are playing as a medic, do your freaking job. And at number 1, the biggest thing that it seems Battlefield 1 players really hate is the fact that you can't change your loadouts from the main menu. What the hell happened here? Is it like a server thing? Is it a technical thing that we don't understand? But it's not possible to manage your loadout from the main menu. You can pretty much only do it in-game and when you're waiting for a game and when basically you have many other things to do at that time. I just find it crazy that they don't have that feature. Maybe EA expects you to manage it exclusively in the companion app, but who wants to do that? Now, before some of you go and correct me in the comments, DICE has said that this is a feature that they have worked out and they are going to implement it soon, but hey, we still got to acknowledge it. It's the biggest annoyance in the game, and why the game would ship this way is beyond me. I'm just glad that DICE is listening to the community on this one and they are putting it out, because the ability to change your class and your loadout whenever you want should be a thing in every game. And for Battlefield 1 to not have that initially was really jarring, so we gotta call them out for it. So guys, those are 10 things Battlefield 1 players hate. Again, a lot of you guys are just gonna say this is whining and complaining, but we're thinking of it more as constructive criticism. If you do play Battlefield, we know you probably have some issues with the game, some things you'd like to see changed, so let us know in the comments what things drive you nuts about the game the most, whether it's the player base, the mechanics, glitches, whatever. Let us know anything you want about Battlefield 1 down in the comments below. You guys know the deal. Clicking the like button helps us out a ton, and we really appreciate it. And subscribing if you're new is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.